Yo. Alright, let's see. Should be loading into something right now. I have no clue how loud this actually sounds at the moment. But we're gonna see. Hopefully it sounds semi-okay. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Hello, hello. Alright, so we are playing right now. We're not too far from the mic, and should be able to hear everything in game relatively well right now. So let's see. We're gonna go hop in a pyro real fast just to see if he sounds all right. Cranked it down a little bit more.
Okay,
testing,
the network's...
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I think you can actually hear me pretty well now. Maybe. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Could technically crank the mic a little bit more. Maybe possibly right there. Alright, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, we're gonna go down and grab a car real fast. I swapped back to the other mic, that's why I'm having to actually do some tests, and I'm setting it up a little bit different than before.
What the hell? Come on!
If I talk really close into it, it's probably going to sound very, very, very loud. 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2. Alright, now we're gonna hop in a car. Because right now the mic is probably like, you know, a hand's length away. So we're driving the car right now, so we'll be able to hear what the car sounds like over it. Possibly. And I definitely think that the mic is pretty balanced with it right now. I have a headset on listening to the stream while I'm playing currently. Oh my god, I just flipped. Alright, so I think it's all pretty much set up, and it should be working pretty well. The only issue I see is possibly if we get DDoS later on. So if anybody, so if you guys like do join, don't invite anybody to the party. Even if you know them, don't invite them. 'Cause we had a lot of issues the other day. I'm watching the bits and stuff. It's holding steady. Yeah. A lot of people are trying to DDoS and stuff right now. So. We'll hold off on like inviting anybody. Other days it doesn't matter as much, but today's a day where it does. Yeah, Jimmy made one of the DDoSers angry, and he made an account called DDoS and Jimmy. Are you set offline, Deuce? Hopefully. Okay, you are. Good, good. You can probably hear my headset over the other thing. I'm not going to do any invites, Alan, today. Aside from like a small few people that I normally play with. A lot of people are trying to get into DDoSes, and the small few people that I normally play with like know how to, you know, set themselves offline and stuff. At least to make it a little. It's not going to be impossible for people to get in. But a lot harder, at least.
Holy shit!
'Cause we got DDoS like crazy yesterday. Yeah. They can't hold me offline, but basically what ends up happening if you get DDoS while you're live streaming, the total viewers drops while it buffers, and so like, you know, that happens. Then if it happens again, it drops a little bit more. So on and so forth, you know. So I won't be able to prevent it completely, but at least I can mitigate it a little bit for the time being. I'm not going to be streaming on this channel. I'll be streaming on my main channel, Molecular MageXD, here in a little bit. I was just using this as a little test bed for getting the mic set up and all that sort of stuff. The other mic works pretty good for like traveling. Like, it doesn't sound terrible or anything, but this one's a lot more powerful in the sense that it's a lot louder. There's a lot more like control to how much you can crank it up and all that sort of stuff. I'm not using a pop filter with it, but I do have a thing over the mic, so hopefully it'll sound okay. Yeah. So right now I'm actually streaming at a very high bit rate. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. If you're on a phone, it's capped to 720p. Due to, you know, the whole pandemic and all that sort of stuff, but it's 720p 60. If you're on like a PC or your Xbox watching, watch in 180p 60. So it should actually look quite smooth currently. Alright, so I think that's it for the test. I'll be live streaming on the main channel here in just a little bit. You have it on the PC and phone. Oh, oops. Let me see if I can see what this looks like in 720p 60 quick. If my phone doesn't explode, then see. I'm driving the car with one hand, so like I can kind of look. So 180p 60. I mean, it looks pretty clear. I think. I mean, not my driving, but.
We're looking at Tuesday, right?
I had a buffer on my phone. Is it buffering for you guys currently? Or is it not? It might just be my phone buffering though. You haven't had a single buffer yet? I think it's my phone, so I'm watching the, so on Streamlabs OBS, you can see what your current bitrate is at the bottom of the screen. And normally, if there's any issues, you'll see, it'll pop up, you know, any frame drop that you have, or, you know, essentially show you that an error popped up, which you can concur at that point that, you know, something occurred to cause the signal to drop a little bit. Like when it gets DDoSed, it goes nuts. Funny beast. But I'm currently streaming at 9,500 bits, 9,000 or 9,500, which is like, you know, 9 to 9.5 megabytes per second. But the connection itself has a pretty high upload of around 40 per second. So I'm well under like what it could possibly be streamed at, which is actually a much higher quality than what I can stream to like something like Twitch. Twitch, you can only go up to 6,000. Technically, GTA is 30 FPS, so I don't know. It might. I think it might look a little bit smoother doing this. But the actual quality itself, like if I move the camera around, like if you weren't streaming at a high enough bitrate, it would end up kind of blurring and all that sort of stuff. Right now it seems okay. Hey, it's an alien. Might be a friendly alien. I'm probably sure. I was trying to shoot me out with the machine guns on it. I don't think it's a friendly alien. Oh, he ran off. Good for him. It's level 32 alien. We'll leave him be. Alright, I'm gonna hit find new session. And hopefully we'll figure something out with it. But yeah, it looks quite smooth. It seems like it's holding up really well. If it starts DDoSing, I'll just like if I figure out I'm getting DDoS, I'll just immediately leave session, swap, and come back. So I'm gonna shut everything down, do a nice little restart, and try to get everything up and running. I'll cry a little bit if it all crashes. Just kidding. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys. I will be back on shortly, probably a couple minutes after 2 I'll start, more than likely. Just make sure nobody invites anybody to party. I'll do party invites. That way, yeah, I don't trust people. I don't use mics and party and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure which group is responsible for like DDoSing us. I kind of know which, sort of, kind of which group it is. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain though. I'll figure it out eventually, I guess. Mine resets pretty quickly after, like, you know, I can't be held offline. It's just quite annoying when it makes things buffer and all that. So we'll hold off on like inviting anybody during this particular stream for that reason. They might still get in, but we'll be able to figure out which ones. Just keep a lookout on like who joins and stuff like that. And whenever you see someone showing up a few different times and that's occurring, then you'll figure it out pretty quickly as to who it is. But nonetheless, thank you guys. I shall be on here in a few minutes. Alright, cool. Thank you guys. And it is... Okay, it looks like it's on that mark. And I don't think I have a mark for this other one, but if I can find something, I'm gonna mark it. That way I can see what the gain should be on. Yeah, they'll still get in, probably. It'll just be a little bit harder for them to. And you know, as long as it's not occurring every second, then we should be at least somewhat okay. Like, it'll still affect stuff, of course, regardless if it happens at all. But the more we can prevent it, the better. But anyways, I'll see you guys here in a few.